Hello everybody, I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. Welcome to the weekly collective reading. It's very good to see everybody. Thanks to everybody that was joining me during the countdown and let me know about the audio problems. They should be fixed now. And thank you to Coda as well. All right, so much coming through for today. As I was tuning in, actually as I was walking the dog, so many symbols from nature came through. A rabbit, a crow, and I'll talk about those two first and then some of the direct downloads that I received. So with the rabbit and the crow, so what I'm picking up on, and of course we're going through a new moon, and it's a super new moon, which I didn't even know was possible, but basically the proximity of the new moon makes it a little bit more intense because, as you know, our moon has an elliptical orbit. We'll talk about that in a moment as well, but the rabbit piece is reminding us of the rapid changes that are just about to come forth. It was a baby rabbit, not a full-sized rabbit. So this is why on the daily reading for today, I was really encouraging you to lean into the power of thoughts, because if you believe that something's possible and focus on creating that trajectory, the following sort of momentum is going to be amazing. But if you focus on all of the friction, all the things that might not happen, it delays things more than they need to be delayed, okay? So there's a lot of rapid progress that can be made just this week, and we'll be looking at the 7-day forecast in a moment. We can pick the highlights and all of that, but I feel like you can jump start whatever it is that you might have been challenged by this week. So that is a very positive sign that I picked up on. The crow. Listen to your intuition. Listen to your heart. Listen to your common sense. Just listen. And I feel like so often we convince ourselves to do things that we know better than to do. We end up kind of connecting with people that we just don't trust or don't like. And this is really about being able to avoid all of those things simply by following your heart and listening, okay? And then thinking of the elliptical orbit that I just mentioned of the moon, and really of every single planet in this solar system. Nothing's a perfect circle around the sun. They're always a little irregular because they're all pulling on each other because of gravity. So with the elliptical orbit, it's a reminder that not every day is going to be sort of like a straight line from A to B. There's going to be some twists and turns, and it's important to see the bigger picture to allow for the momentum to keep moving you and not to sort of strive for the perfection, just the best version of yourself in that day. Now, today things are going to seem a little bit more intense if you're watching this on Sunday, maybe even Monday, because depending on which time zone you're in, the new moon falls between the two different days. You can watch my 3 things for the new moon. We're still going to be picking up on things here. But basically what I said at the very beginning of that video holds true for today, which is if you're feeling things more intensely, it's okay. That's normal. But because it's a super new moon, let's try to focus on emphasizing the positive, the possible, if not the positive, and plant some seeds of intention, and that's why we're all here today. Welcome, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is a weekly collective reading for everybody. I forgot to put up the channeled message portion, but those were channeled messages, folks. Let's see, I think I can put Apollo up. Yay! I got the Apollo cam working, he looks adorable. Mic situation fixed, everything's fine, we're all here. Okay, so I like to begin with those channeled messages and then move on to a 7-day forecast. This helps us get like tactical and practical, like I like to say here. So let's see if I've got this set up. I do, everything's working after a little bit of challenges initially. All right. By the way, I am going to try to get everything up by the 15th if I can. All the signs, I'm doing slightly shorter ones for the mid-month. Then I'm going to try to get all the July ones up before July because I'm moving next month. So we're catching up. I'm staying in this place until the 15th of next month when I'm going to hop on a plane. All right, so between now and then, I'm going to try to get a lot done. We also have solstice coming up, so I'll do a special solstice reading as well. It's a busy month for everybody. Close your eyes, please. Release any sort of thoughts, fears, or anything that's coming through, and just allow this to be the clean slate that it is this new moon week ahead. let's begin. All right, we're going to begin with the energy of today, this Sunday, and we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse position. There's actually a little bit of parity between this and the daily where I had the Knight coming through, Knight of Cups, and it was about joy and fun and connecting with people. The Queen of Cups is helping inform that just a little bit more, and she's saying, before you do any of the social engagements, also make time to let go of stuff. Any sort of fears, inhibitions, and whatever it is that's kind of holding you back from being yourself. Also, if we look really closely at this illustration, there's a little hand reaching out from that conch shell. And there could be an old persistent thought, an emotion, because she's all about emotions. And I really do feel like a lot of what's coming up right now is around fear of the unknown, particularly because what does a new moon look like? It's just dark. You might be able to see the faint shadow if the sky is clear, but the new moon is, it's possibility. It's like outer space. Nothing's quite manifested in that space yet. And sometimes we're afraid if I see nothing, is nothing happening? No, it's just the beginning. It's like a seed beneath the surface. So don't let the fear of nothingness or the unknown or the unseen inhibit your ability to step into possibilities. You may also just need someone to lean on, someone to decompress with, to share your thoughts, dreams, etc. With as well. So find that person. It might not be someone that's in your immediate periphery. This is when we kind of talk to a counselor, a mentor, a doctor, etc. But find that outlet so that you can let it go. And that's really the key takeaway today, is to let it go, release, and try to have some fun if you can, okay? So far, so good. All right, let's move on to the energy of Monday, the beginning of the week. And we have the King of Wands here. So King of Wands, reverse position, just like the Queen of Cups. With this, it's about keeping an open mind. What I love about the King and the Queen of Wands is they're imaginative, they're intuitive, they're able to take a leap of faith intellectually. But sometimes they think too much. And that's what's happening here, that scarab beetle's kind of covering up his field of view, and it's almost like he has blinders on. So what we want to do is look beyond the obvious. And there's this little trail of scarab beetles that are trying to pull him in that direction. It's like breadcrumbs. The only way you can see the breadcrumbs is if you take a step back. And I feel like that's also been something that I've been talking to, if not the monthlies, I think some of the dailies too. It's been about getting perspective. In a regular tarot card, this would be connected to, for instance, the Eight of Cups. A chance for you to step back and see the patterns that are emerging. Because when you're in the middle of it, you can't see it. You know what's coming to my mind is like crop circles. So if you were in the middle of the sort of cornfield, you wouldn't necessarily see it unless you were right on top of the crop circle. But if you get, several hundred miles above, you're going to be able to see the pattern. Or think of like a maze or something like that. You can't see your way through if you're in the middle of it. So you just have to get that point of view. Crop circles is not an accidental download. So it's also encouraging you to think beyond the physical, beyond the material, because we're thinking out of this world. So there could be a solution that seems outlandish, that seems extraterrestrial, but there's something there. Because when it really truly is in that innovative spirit, it does seem like it's alien or foreign. And I like to use as a great example, because it really was a pioneer, Star Trek, the original series. Because all of those devices, they kind of mimic what ended up being tablets and smartphones. Because they had tricorders and medical things and scanner devices and all of this, and they inspired that. Uhura with her Bluetooth device and all of that, like it really did inform technology. Even just the fact that it was voice-operated computer, and now we have Alexa or SIRI, and I don't want to say it because your devices are going to go off. Or Google, like whatever your device is that you're using, you say it out loud and now it talks back. So sometimes you have to imagine the outlandish alien stuff and then it happens. Dick Tracy, I had to think of it for a second, with the smartwatches that talk to you. Like it all happened. It was crazy then, it was outlandish, it was alien, now it's every day. So something that you think is way out there, it's just a little bit ahead of its time, but that's actually a good thing. So allow yourself to see something and trust it and don't judge it too much, okay? I love Star Wars too. I love all sci-fi and fantasy, but Star Trek came first and it did innovate in a lot of ways. Anyway, good stuff. Let's go to Tuesday. All right, discernment is your key to success. So the Seven of Wands comes on the heels of the Six of Wands, which means that you're probably doing something right, or you have some amazing insights and skills that people want. So you're in demand, or people just want a little bit more of your time, but you have to choose wisely. So you don't have to be everyone to everything to everyone, and you don't have to say yes all of the time. It's important, in fact, to push back a little bit and say no from time to time. This is also a defensive card, so creating boundaries in your life when people aren't observing them is really important, or even if they don't know that they exist, just say, I don't like this, or this doesn't make me feel comfortable, or I would prefer this. Repeat it as necessary. I was talking to one sign, like repetition is a great way to help get people to see it and realize it and know that you mean business. The other thing here with it in the reverse position is saying don't go on the defensive if someone offers you feedback. So if there's a constructive element to something, one of the best things that you can do if you don't agree is just say, I hear what you're saying, I'll give it some thought. That's it. I don't have to agree or disagree. We don't have to argue. Just say, I'll take that under consideration. Let me think about it. Or just say, thanks for sharing your point of view. If somebody's offering it all the time and you don't want to hear it, just say, when I'm ready, I'll ask for some more feedback. Right now, I just need to focus on this. You can just, that's a nice way of saying, I didn't really ask for that. So if someone's constantly piping in and they shouldn't, or piping up rather, feel free to create those boundaries. You get to decide, and you're going to have to discern it based on your own life. The middle of the week, you might be asking for some help. You might have an opportunity on your plate that's going to require you to juggle things around. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. That's a strange conch shell because we can see like this eyeball in the middle of it. But the Pentacles, it's all about communication around resources, your time, your schedule, your money, your budget, whatever. So you might need to ask for something, create a boundary, or you might need to negotiate something. It's very close to what you're looking for. There's a little bit that needs to be hammered out here with it in the reverse position. You may also decide to invest in yourself. I'm going to take this and put it into something that feels right for me. And I think that's really, really important as well. Because, so what I'm kind of looking at in my mind's eye is like phases of our lives. And we think so much about the future that sometimes we don't live in the moment. And it goes really, really quickly. One day you wake up and you're like, where did the last 10 years go, or the last 10 months? And so one of the things with this card is it's saying, today do something that helps you ground yourself, celebrate the work that you've done, and it's basically just saying, please be present as possible, okay? Oh, okay, let's take a look here at the latter part of the week. I might have to adjust the view on this. I'm just gonna scooch things over here a little bit. All right, so we just did Wednesday, let's do Thursday. Interesting. This is such a weird Four of Cups. I love the Four of Cups, but this is a strange illustration because of all the cacti. Okay, so the important piece on this one, ignore all the strange, surreal illustrations. We see the floating ace basically here. And that is the big challenge. I'm going to pull the traditional one. I love that. And we'll kind of talk about maybe why they chose the cactus in a second. But what the Four of Cups offers us is a chance to celebrate with, what's the best word, gratitude, what we have, realize that the grass always looks greener on the other side, but it isn't necessarily greener, and also to look for a sort of like a blessing in disguise, or something that just doesn't quite match up to what we thought it would be like, but it could be better. So it's a little bit like, it could be in plain sight, but you're already discounting it. Oh, I could never do that. Oh, they would never like me. And before it even has a chance to properly manifest, you've already pushed that floating ace away. If I can't pull it out, okay, here it is. So let's look at this for a second. Here's your traditional illustration. It's a lot easier to see spirits literally handing you something and saying, hey, What about this? You don't like this? What about this? He's so focused on what's right in front of him that he's missing something that could be materializing. He's also, if we look at his energy, just a little bit perturbed. He looks frustrated, disillusioned, bored. You can sometimes be busy and bored with this card, and it's important to get beyond that. So cacti are interesting because they are resilient plants. They've learned to evolve. And I feel like some of you have learned to deal with something. You grew sort of like a thicker skin, a spiny sort of skin, and it's like, well, this is as good as it gets. I don't want to be hurt. And I feel like that's what the cactus is about on this one. It's saying, if I just stand still and ignore this, maybe this is it. But the universe is saying, no, you don't have to protect yourself so much all the time. There is something better that wants to present itself. Okay? All right. I can't remember if that was upright or reverse. It doesn't matter on that one. But basically, there's a different perspective to look at, and it's about looking beyond the obvious. Okay. Towards the end of the week here the end of the week on Friday, we have Knight of Wands energy reversed. Take a step back, basically, and ask yourself, is this what I want? Am I ready? Have I, again, explored all the paths in front of me? If not, it might be time to do a little bit of exploration and to choose the path less traveled, less obvious, and know that sometimes the best things in life are just like surprises. It's unusual, it's unexpected, it's unexplained. Also, if someone in your life doesn't get it, move on. Move on to someone that does. Don't waste your time spinning your wheels, because there are some people that just lack the imaginative, intuitive vibe that you might be bringing. Also, it's never too late to go back and address something, to fix something, to work on something. There could be someone coming into your life that you've been trying to avoid. That's the other thing that I'm getting here. And they're trying to get your attention. So it's better to deal with this sooner than later. Okay? Let's move on to the upcoming weekend. All right, on Saturday, we have upright King of Swords. This is a day where actions and words are really going to need to come together. So walk the walk, talk the talk, but also realize that people may very much want your advice, your decision, your signature, and I think it's fine as long as you're ready. The interesting thing here is all of the hands in the head. So people might be trying to pick at your brain a little bit here. It's important for you to make sure that if you're going to offer advice, do some work for someone, that it actually gets spelled out in a contract what this is expected to be. This is especially true if it's just a casual conversation at work, or maybe you're doing some sort of a favor for someone, whether they're a friend or just someone new that you met. Get it into a contract, protect your ideas, protect your intellectual property, get paid, get a contract drawn up. It is a great day to get a signature, and if you're trying to get a decision, signature, etc., feels like Saturday, that's when that comes into being. With the King of Swords, again, it is about communication, and if you've been delaying anything, Saturday is the day when decisions have to be made, things have to be done. We have a celebratory card coming through a week from today, the 10 of Cups, and what I love about the 10 of Cups is, with this one, I see them under the archway, so it feels like they're ready to step into something new. This could represent commitment, final phase of something where people are celebrating your success. I think we're kind of through graduation season, but some of you may still be graduating, finishing, announcing, completing something, and 10s are all about completion. This is also, for some of you, about committing to someone or something and saying, I want to go the distance, because this is a card of commitment. Not as much as the 10 of Pentacles, but it's kind of like more of an emotional commitment. I feel invested. Let's put it that way. It's emotional investment. And it's a great day to talk about your feelings, talk about your dreams, or to make that kind of commitment. Like, let's take this to the next level. But at the very least, have some fun. This is a great day for spending time with people that you love. Familial energy, friendship energy, community energy, very, very strong a week from today. Let's take a look at some of the highlights for this week and some of the challenges. Then I'll set a goal for us as well, just in case we want to read one of the runners up or whatever wants to come through. But first things first, challenges. I think that the beginning of the week there's like 3 days in a row where it's recalibrating energy. So keeping an open mind, setting boundaries, and being present. These are the sort of big takeaways at the beginning of the week. Everything after that's pretty manageable, honestly. The sort of turning point is Thursday, and it is about being able to see a blessing in disguise. The highlights, honestly, this upcoming weekend looks amazing. Really, really amazing. So I would say Saturday and Sunday are the highlights. Everything building up to this is just getting you ready to receive. Okay, we're going to look at the elements here in just a moment. Before I do that, please hit the like and subscribe. I'm going to quickly set a goal for us, for those of you that are watching live, so that we can have some fun and possibly do something bonus related at the end. So let me get this up while I'm doing that. Again, you can like and subscribe if you enjoy this. You can also check out my website for more information about me, including all of my different social media platforms. You can see them listed there. And if you'd like to give back here, hold on just a moment, because I'm setting a goal as we speak, and you can show a little bit of love and support. We're going to set the goal for 30. Any color will work, and I'll just say whatever spirit guides me to look at. Whatever needs to come through, basically. I feel like that'll be good, and we'll set it for like an hour. I feel like that's plenty of time. Okay, so I just set a goal for anybody that's watching live that wants to have some fun, and we'll do something different at the end. Now let's get into the next portion of this, which is the elements. And for the elements, this is a chance for us to take a quick little pulse on everything that's going on with all the signs. And like I said, you'll have all the mid-month readings up hopefully by end of day Monday or beginning of day Tuesday, so it's truly up by the middle of the month, and then I'll start getting all the other ones done, because we need to plan for my traveling that's coming up. Okay, so I'm just going to use actually a different deck, but I'll keep everything on the table in case I need to look at it. I have another one here handy. Let's begin. All right, so we're going to take a look at fire, earth, air, and water. Okay, let's get started with the fire signs first. So we're going to take a look here at Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Guess what? You have a card that's aligned to the same one that we got here. So this was connecting us to Sunday. So the Ten of Cups. You may have an increased desire to connect with others this week, or more opportunities for networking. So whether or not you're part of a big family, or just have a lot of friends, or you're guided this month, or this week rather, to do a little bit of professional networking, make some time for that. And it's not just about the people you think you're going to meet there, it's about the connections that are friends of friends of friends. When I think of some of my favorite people in my life, it's like sometimes 2 or 3 times removed from the original point of contact. So think of like the degrees of Kevin Bacon or whatever. It's not Kevin Bacon, it's like several times past that, and you're like, oh, that's where the friendship begins. So you know one person, but they kind of help you connect through a web of other people to that synchronicity. This could help you in business. This could help you create a new friendship. Maybe you're going to meet someone that you love or want to deepen a relationship this week. But people are one of the priorities. The other thing here is if you needed to, from a business perspective, announce, launch, or help generate some interest in something, Ten of Cups is about as good as you can get. In existing relationships, leveling up. The only thing that comes with the Ten of Cups, even in the upright position, can be a little bit of peer pressure, can be a little bit, you know how we had some static at the beginning here. It can be static noise where there's too many cooks in the kitchen. Everybody has an opinion. They love you, but it's like, please give me some space and let me decide what to do for myself, right? So boundaries are going to be important this week. But overall, I love what's coming through for the fire signs. I feel like you have the perfect energy to connect, make a splash, deepen existing networks, and maybe meet someone pivotal. It's good stuff. Have some fun, get out there. This is very much a mix and mingle sort of energy. Okay, so moving on from fire to earth, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You can get a lot done this week. This is a very earth-centered card, 8 of Pentacles. Hammering out the details. Also, as I'm looking at these go up the tree, it's also kind of like releasing things, launching things, leveling it up, letting some other people see it. This can be a card connected with working with an editor or someone that's going to provide some feedback or insights. And I'm looking at the cobweb here. It's good to do that because sometimes we get stuck in our own head. Thoughts can get stuck, energy can get stuck, and we want to keep it moving. And we can also look at this as sort of like a percentage marker. So when you're, anywhere between 70 or 80% done, that's a great time to share something with someone just in case there's anything that needs to be course corrected. Writing, learning, editing, all of these are connected with this. So if you want to take a class, if you want to put some stuff into writing, or if you want to basically get some feedback, all of that. Also, karmically, you might be finally graduating from a lesson. I mentioned graduation, it can also be figurative. So some of you might be finally seeing why a person or a situation was repeating, and you think to yourself, I'm done with that now. When I mention writing, I like to always expand it because it's just about putting it into a written format. So this includes curriculums, proposals, technical writing, programming, because that's a form of writing, so app creation, and then of course creative writing. It's just a download from here to either another digital format like you're typing it or you're writing it, but there is power in writing, so don't be afraid to write. It's so funny, one of my friends who's a fellow intuitive, she saw me signing something and she said, were you a scribe in another life? I said, yeah. I actually remember a lifetime where I was a monk, and I would basically transcribe manuscripts. And so when I want to, I have very neat handwriting. Like in school, I took forever to write because I wanted it to be perfect. I can do it faster as an adult, but the reason that it's kind of powerful is it's connecting you. This going through your body, it's very much magician energy. As above, so below, you're creating it and you're making a contract. So you can just write a few things down, like an affirmation or like a little goal with yourself or contract. I'm going to do this, I'm doing this, and make it real. So I think that the big takeaway for Earth is to get it in writing for yourself and make it real, tangible. Saying it out loud, writing it down, there's something about that cements a possibility into the physical. A little bit of like alchemy and magic there. You can get a lot done this week. It's going to be a productive week. Enjoy, embrace. Okay, let's move on from Earth to Air. Not bad at all. We have the Four of Wands, but in the reverse position. So you are starting to set the stage for something that could actually happen a month or two from now. I think it will. We're entering into the solstice, so it'll be in this next 2 to 3 month period in this next season. So for the Northern Hemisphere, summer. And it could be new friends, new love, new contracts. When the Four of Wands exists in a spread, it represents a very stable moment. So if you're starting a job or starting a relationship, firm foundation and mutual appreciation, typically with this card. When it's reversed, someone got there early. You or the partner or the opportunity, someone's waiting for the other person. So slow down, tune in, look around. Your challenge this week is this card. It's the one where you're sort of so focused on what's in front of you that you miss that sort of floating opportunity that is obvious maybe to everyone else but you. So air signs, there's something or someone that wants to make itself seen, but your head's in the clouds. So you want to be present and look around. Just set the stage, continue to do the work, and be discerning in relationships. The reason for some of you that it's taking longer to either get a job, meet a partner, find the right space for yourself if you're looking for a home or something like that is you're picky, you're discerning, and you know what you want. It does feel like you'll find it within a month, 4 weeks, 4 wands, but don't rush to that signing of the contract. Make sure that the person, the place, or the environment meets your expectations. You are putting great energy out there. Make sure that you see what others see. See yourself as worthy and ready and willing, and that will help you out. Let's move to the water signs. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, we have water for water, which is good. Prince or the Knight of Cups coming through in the upright position. Good news, positive announcement. You may be wanting to say something. There could be someone new coming into your life. The only thing that I'm looking at on this card is the tentacles. They haven't wrapped themselves around this particular court card like they do the King, but there is temptation, distraction, or something nebulous in the environment, so be mindful of that. That's why we had, for Tuesday, I believe, this card of setting boundaries, saying no, and being discerning. Have some fun, be creative, listen to your heart, trust your heart. You don't have to give up happiness to be accepted, to be successful, to make it in the world. And I really do feel like when we sacrifice our happiness for the love or acceptance of others, we're doing a disservice to ourselves. Nobody should make you change who you are for love, for acceptance, etc. Okay? But ultimately, things are starting to break through, dare I say, for you this week. And you might, this of all the signs, like you have the most rapid energy here because it's a night. So I feel like the only thing that could hold you back is disbelief in the heart, because that's where I'm being shown. It's like it's all in the heart. The environment, the signs, the signals, they're moving you forward, and it's kind of like a cartoon where it has to snap back into the grid. So everything's moved ahead of you, and you just need to snap into the grid. And the minute you do that, things are going to get along just fine. All right, so overall, pretty good week. Actually, we didn't get any cards that concern me too much. All right, now let's take a look at the special topic. And I didn't even announce the special topic for today, but I will do that now. So I want to make sure I say it exactly as I typed it. So the Phoenix is what won, which is fantastic. Rise above any challenges. This is good because it's going to give me an opportunity to see the blocks and help you get through them, and very much go into the alchemy, which is also what I mentioned about this new moon energy. You can alchemize, you can change, you can adjust in real time what's going on. Okay, let's get started here. All right. Before I do that, I need to find a different deck. So let me take a look and see which one is calling to me. I think this one is calling. Okay, if you just joined, good timing. What we're going to do right now is identify and remove blocks, basically step into a very alchemic energy. So once again, since some of you might not have joined at the beginning, take a moment, put your feet on the ground. Imagine that the sun is shining directly overhead, and I want you to see a rainbow in front of you, which represents all the options, everything under the rainbow. And you are now connecting to guides, angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters, rather. I'm going to pull a traditional Celtic cross for this. And as we go into the expanded forecast, that's one of the areas where I'm going to look. I want to shuffle this a little bit more because it's got a lot of reversals. That's where I'm going to look a little bit more at how to alchemize and move through potential blocks. Okay, so we'll do this and let's get a catalyst. Okay, I'm just gonna pull it over here so you can see it. I have to be more creative with this space because it's a different setup. Okay, so we'll start off with your catalyst first. We have dolphin energy coming, I'm sorry, it's the whale, it looked like a dolphin. We have the whale coming through, magnificence, compassion, and history. So especially if it's a whale, that to me is like King of Cups because it's one of the highest, sort of like the biggest fish in the sea, if you will. And never underestimate your magnificence. Lean into your compassion. Don't be afraid to feel, to cry, to connect. And we're going to look at It's interesting. The guides, what they said is it's all ancient history. The pain, the suffering, the difficulty, because this card was reversed. So we are learning to let go of the hurt, processing it, but releasing it, and not creating that sort of prickly spine that we saw in that Four of Cups card, but opening our heart up just a little bit. This is also a week, when I think of making a splash, I also think of the Star card. So some of you might be used to changing yourself, muting your light, being less than so that you don't outshine others. You don't have to do that anymore. You want to attract like-minded people and energy, so it's okay to authentically be the biggest, boldest version of you right now, okay? Okay. So let's dig into the spread here. Again, focusing on Phoenix energy. We'll start off with the center card. Wow, this is a really cool King of Pentacles. So on all of the King cards, he came through reversed. One of the biggest things that you will see are the lush vines and plants and trees. Like he's in the thicket. He's created a forest of opportunities around him. The thing here with this one is we get very much more the vibes of harvest because it's an autumnal energy. So we see the grapevines, but they're kind of turning colors, and it's time to harvest it. And he's holding on to something, and it's like, I don't know if I can let it go. So this is a little baby that wants to be birthed. This is something that has come to literally fruition because we see the fruits of your labor here. And it's okay to let go. It's okay to close a chapter. It's okay to create space because it's also, you're left, what are grapes? But the fruit, and there's a seed in the center. You're left with the seed for the next season. And who knows how amazing next season might be. Season 2 is going to be fantastic. So get ready for series 2 if you're in the EU or something. But yeah, like the next season, the next series is going to be totally worth it. And you just have to let go of this finale. So some of you are on the season or series finale. There's more to come. It's to be continued. But he's holding on to what could have been. That's the history thing. That's why this was reversed. Holding on to ancient history, holding on to the past. And you can't rise up if you're doing that. All right, there could also be someone in your life that can't give back. If we have the King of Pentacles around us, reversed, not a great energy. This is someone who tends to take more than they give. Sometimes it can represent a narcissistic tendency, but it can just be someone so in their own world that they're not empathizing, observing, or giving. So you're going to have to articulate needs, create boundaries, and sometimes detach from that energy, particularly if it is someone who's just too self-focused to give you what you need. Because you need to give to yourself right now. So the first Phoenix message is let go, create space, plant a new seed. The second Phoenix message with this is if there's someone who can't give back, let them go. A lot of release energy coming through with this, okay? Crossing that card, we have a really, really good energy, also about fruits of your labor coming through. So here we have Nine of Pentacles, and what I like about the Nine of Pentacles is its independence. In every variation, if it's a good Rider-Waite-Smith derivative, you don't see other people on this card. It's typically just one person, but they're surrounded by rich, lush abundance. No exception here. A couple things that are missing from this card. Usually there's a bird, like I think they're a falconer, whatever it's called. So this is also a great time for you to announce, maybe sell or negotiate, ask for help if you need, but you can communicate because you have great value to offer the world. So when you open the door up, you'll get to that 10th pentacle very quickly, or maybe hop, skip, and jump up into the suit of, not the suit, but the court cards. Also, what's missing from this is the little snail, which shows that I actually think you're through that phase. You were inching along, you didn't realize how long it was taking, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're finally at the point where things are manifesting. It's slow until it isn't. And since the snail is missing, it isn't anymore. And it's okay to tap into something. So you can treat yourself when the Nine of Pentacles appears. If you've been saving, smart, smartly, that's not the right word. If you've been intelligent about your communications, let's put it that way, or your savings, now is the time for you to access them and say, I can do this. So yeah, your hard work paid off. Enjoy the moment a little bit. You don't have to do everything on your own, but you can if you need to. That's good to know. Let me take another drink here, and then we're going to take a look at what hopefully is ancient history. Okay, we have 8 of Wands in the reverse position in the deep past. Slow down, be present. And I just read, can't remember the last sign, I think it was Virgo that I did, but I think I had a very similar one, and it was steps on this one. So what I get with this one, which is interesting because it's just showing all the wands coming together, and we see almost like this magical, mystical clearing energy. You've cleared any blocks that might be there, and you can actually skip a step or two because you don't need to repeat them anymore. That's what I'm getting here. You're clearing old karmic blocks, old mental blocks, and this time you're just going to rocket through to something. Now we're connecting to the rabbit energy. A leap, an intuitive leap, an actual leap, and then also the rabbit is about multiplying. Because when you see one baby rabbit, there's probably a dozen other ones out there somewhere because they rapidly multiply. So I feel like this is going to be a moment in time where there's just a lot of things coming through. So when this is reversed, and typically these are airborne, all the wands taking off like rocket ships, you want to plant your feet on the ground for just a second. Look around for a second and ask yourself, okay, where do I want to next go? Because it's also going to happen quicker than you think. Whatever you were trying to do, what if it happened far more quickly? It isn't the old timeline anymore, okay? All right, there's a little bit of emotional stuff that we need to release. So this is in the recent past. So it could have been the first week or two of this month. 3 of Swords still has a purpose. It's the straw that breaks our back. It's the discomfort that gets us out of something. It's the final straw. Yeah, basically. Interestingly enough, have you ever noticed in swords how much water appears? So in any good 3 of Swords, you can see the storm. The storm is going to pass. I already saw the rainbow. But there's a lot of like water, like in the, we'll look at it again, but sometimes there's heavy emotion, so sometimes they illustrate it with water. But the 3 of Swords is more like a Cups card, which is kind of crazy because there's always the rain. It will pass. The storm will pass. It's probably already passed you by. So don't be afraid to process the emotions as necessary, of course, but then let it go, because when I'm looking back at the history on this one, it was reversed. So this too shall pass if it hasn't already. And knowing what you don't want is just as valuable as knowing what you would like. Okay, there's another lesson coming through though. In the crowning position, it's about value. I just want to look here. It's not going to repeat. This is very much also a passing storm. So literally we see stormy weather in this one, 5 of Pentacles. Sometimes in the past you felt like you were on the outside looking in, or trying to kind of get to that other place. You don't have to do that anymore. This represents shelter. So the 5 of Pentacles, there's always a door that's open, but sometimes we're afraid to walk through it for fear of rejection. Work on self-confidence. That's one big element of the 5 of Pentacles. It gets chipped away because someone didn't see your value or legitimately just said you're not worth it. Or literally, not legitimately, literally said it, but there was no legitimate energy to that. That was their opinion. That was their lack of imagination. From a health perspective, I really want you to tune into your body. Some of you might have worked yourself, excuse me, to the point of exhaustion. And if you did, take a moment or two and make sure that you're not doing that anymore. It's not sustainable. Emotions could also be leading to this. Whatever it is that's creating this 5 of Pentacles moment, you have to slow down and take care of that. This can also have to do with knees, ankles, and feet. So for those of you that had a previous injury, arthritis, or maybe some muscular or surgical stuff that's going on there, take care of it now. Talk to your doctor, slow down, don't push yourself too much. Finally, in finances, don't overextend. There may be some debts that need to be paid. There may be activities that cost too much or don't give you what you're putting into them. Like there's no reciprocity. So it's time to cut a little bit and be more frugal and more conservative with your budgeting. And the budgeting isn't just your money, it's your energy. That includes people that you spend time with that drive you crazy. Oh, we have a dog here, the Ten of Wands. I love it. Let's check in on Apollo, who's also behind me sleeping peacefully in his little dinosaur. I know, buddy, I'm talking about you and I'll leave you alone. All right, the Ten of Wands. This is an unusual illustration for the Ten of Wands. Usually there's no bad weather in this card, but it can show this feeling of being burdened. But what I like about this version of it is it's more playful. The dog is like, I can handle this. I'm just going to... You can see that he really can't because one of those wands is falling out. So I have a couple notes on this one. You've made it this far. There's no harm in taking a day's rest or asking for help or pacing yourself a little bit, because if you push yourself to the point of exhaustion, that then can lead to that Five of Pentacles that we saw in the crowning position. So do less, but do it better. Take your time, take a day. Don't give up though. You're not only so close to the finish line that you can taste it, but there might be something that's going to make this happen even faster. So here's your traditional 10 of Wands. This person's hunched over, taking on too much, not really enjoying it. This dog is enjoying it a little bit more, but both of them are doing more than they need to. Work smarter, not necessarily harder. Delegate, rest, and then finish what you've started. You might be traveling this week. If you're traveling, make sure that it's not like you're traveling lightly. So one thing that I'm doing as I'm spending this last month here is every day I get rid of stuff. Donate, recycle, trash. Like this isn't gonna come with me for the next leg of the journey. When you're traveling, if you carry too much, literally you're gonna pull your back or some other muscle. I broke a foot once when I was carrying something too heavy. It snapped the bone because it was too much. So you've got to be smart. And it's more figurative too. Some of you might be letting go of emotional burdens in your life. Carrying the weight of guilt, regret, or just too much responsibility. Be smarter about that so that you have the ability to go the distance. Okay, we have the Eight of Cups. I mentioned this one earlier. Getting some distance or perspective. So they chose a different way of looking at it here. So they're climbing the ladder to get above this mess so that they can see what's going on. One thing that, if I had to summarize my 15 years in different jobs of like corporate style work, I climbed the ladder and I didn't like the view. I could have climbed the ladder all the way to the top, but I got up to kind of like he did, the second or third rung from the top, and I'm like, this isn't it. This isn't my path. That doesn't mean it's not someone else's. But I climbed the ladder and I didn't like the view, so I found another path to take. And the only way that I did that was by slowing down a little bit and looking around and imagining a different path, something that I'm doing now too. So like in your life, sometimes it can be a location, sometimes it can be a job, sometimes it can be a relationship that's holding you down. So you need to climb up the ladder and look at the steps, around, behind, and ask yourself, is this still what I want? Because what we set up for ourselves in youth isn't necessarily what we're gonna like as an adult or in any phase of our life, because I think it's natural every 5, 7, 11 years or whatever to kind of look back and say, I gotta shake it up. We gotta try something new. You're okay. It's okay. It's what you should be looking at. Okay, there's some other things that aren't necessarily gonna be obvious in this version of the card, but making and breaking cycles. If there's something in your life where you're thinking, God, I wish I would have done this, do it. Or, and this helped me make my current decision to move, I thought, if I were 88, looking back at my life, and I didn't do this, would I think to myself, I should have tried? And I thought, yes, I would think that. Then I thought, okay, then it's time. Also, it's getting harder. Like the older you get, the more things that happen in your body. And you think to yourself, in another decade or two, could I do this as easily? No. all right, maybe I should do this now because it's easier now, even if it's not as easy as it was a decade ago. So distance helps you make the decision. This version's a little better for that metaphor. So that person is leaving room for the ninth cup. So we see he's ostensibly carrying the wish fulfillment. If you wonder why there's room, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm counting to make sure. There's 8 cups in the foreground. He has the ninth in his heart. If he wants to come back and finish something, he'll complete it, or maybe the completion is in that journey of discovery. That's why it's leading, there's room for your dream to come true. So you can have a second chance at something. The distance will help you see the bigger picture, and you can break a cycle if you don't like what's going on. It's one of my favorite cards. Take a break. I almost want to curse. Take a darned break if you haven't. You deserve it. You deserve a breather. And if you've been working, you're not going to be able to appreciate, see, or observe what's coming through, okay? All right. In the environment. Wisdom. The Hierophant. A nicer version of... actually, no, this is the Emperor card, right? Oh, yes. Because we have... yes. So, well, actually, no, it is the Hierophant. Because it's Empress, Emperor, Hierophant. I so hate it when they rename stuff, but I kind of like what I see on this one, too. You don't have to adhere to everyone else's view of the world. What parents thought was going to be okay, what you thought you would like, sometimes we grow up and we think to ourselves, this isn't what I signed up for. So you have permission to change your mind. Nobody's going to tell you that when you're going through it. And the traditional Hierophant card is like, I said I was going to do this, so I'm going to do this, but it's okay. That little kid that was telling his grandparent, teacher, or peer, like, this is what I want to do when I grow up, he didn't really know the full version of himself, all that was possible. And so you're not stuck. You get to change your path if you want to. There's more than one way to make something happen. The 2 different keys here represent optional paths beyond the gatekeeper. So if one person in your life, grandmother, grandfather, aunt, uncle, mother, father, doesn't agree with you, so what? That was their version of what was possible. You can go to one of the side doors. The 2 disciples represent other people that can connect you to the path because they maybe are connected to that decision maker. You're not stuck. There's more than one way. The only time that you have to adhere to this, and I just recently went through it. I did it all last year rather. So for those of you wondering, well, how can he travel this year and decide so quickly? Last year, I went through all of the paperwork. You have to get a bunch of things apostille stamped if you're going to get a visa in another country. I did it all last year and just hit pause. So the only thing that I had to re-apostille stamp was like the background check, and that takes like another 5 weeks. So whenever that like governmental stuff, you can't shortcut it. For the most part, if you need to get a legal agreement, a governmental agreement, if you're trying to graduate, like there are prerequisites, requisites, stamp signatures, and requirements. So that's the one time that you can't get past this. But in other parts of your life, it's more like breaking the old mold. So sometimes you have a gatekeeper and you work with them. You can expedite stuff sometimes, but you can't ignore it altogether. So there are certain things where you can, if you're 2 or 3 weeks away from travel, get some things approved more quickly. Sometimes if you know people, but you still need the stamp. So find your best way to that stamp and know that you're going to be able to get it done. I don't see a block. That's basically what I'm getting at. Maybe a waiting period. 5, since we're looking at the Hierophant, 5 days, 5 weeks, but nothing too grand. So give yourself some time and some space. Maximum 5 months. Okay. Moving onward. Ace of Swords. Action, signature, opportunity. And we haven't talked about the Phoenix in a minute, but this one is really where the Phoenix takes flight. This is why I was talking about the power of writing. When you say it, when you write it, when you email it, when you text it, you breathe energy into it. Let's do this. I want this. When you express love to someone, it's 3 words. I love you. It's the most simple sentence structure you can have, right? Like a pronoun, a verb, and a subject. Like you're making it very clear, like what it is, an object rather, whatever. You're just constructing it very, very easily. I and what I'm doing and where I want to do that. So you can make it simple. You can use one word, yes, no. You can even listen, like you can use it in that sort of like declarative format. But short communication is super powerful. All you have to do is say yes or no, or 3 or 4 little words. I don't want to. I want this, or yes, or I love you, or I don't love you. Whatever you need to say, basic communication will make it happen. Or a signature. So if you get like a DocuSign document, all you have to do is click and sign. When it comes down to it, all the work that we've been doing is just about that. Book it, sign it, say it. Are you ready? Because I feel like that you're building a lot of stuff up, but it kind of just all comes down to this. And you're ostensibly this week going to be faced with that final decision. And in like nowadays, you can even just like tap it when you're going to buy something. Tap it, sign it, say it, speak it, do it. It's ready to happen. It's already there. This is in possibilities, by the way. Hope spheres and possibilities. So I already see it out there for you. Whatever you feel blocked, the block isn't really there. There's something that's going to come through, and the only block then will be in the commitment. So maybe think about it. Get ready to commit, because the opportunity for commitment is happening faster than you think. There were 2 cards that stuck together for the outcome, and it's nicely aligned to this. So the hidden card is success. We'll talk about, 7 of Wands, on the heels of success. But the key card is the Hermit. So it's comfortable sometimes to be in the shadows, because that actually is where the Hermit's at. He's in the shadows with his lantern, shining a light on what needs to be seen, but he also is very much private, blending in, a wallflower. But you're being asked to step out of the shadows. So between, like right before this is the 6 of Wands, we keep getting 7 of Wands coming through. People are going to see you and probably want you to step into the limelight or ask you for some more time, energy, money. So you're going to have to get comfortable with a little bit more attention. You can create limits, boundaries, and expectations around that. But ultimately, it's time to step out of the shadows. I like this Hermit because they're owning their light, their power, their fire. And I always like to remind people that in the traditional Hermit, he has a star in the center. So basically your star is coming through, and the universe wants you to share that star with the world, but there's a little bit of discomfort. So learning how to push yourself out of your comfort zone is really what this is about. Okay, I quite like this. Let me look one last time to make sure that from an alchemic point of view, we have the highlights, and then we're going to step into an expanded version of this. Okay, so I think the biggest opportunities for alchemy are these 2 cards. So with the 3 of Swords in the past, you are no longer needing to experience pain, difficulty, or struggle in order to grow. Releasing this pain as a teacher. You are more worthy than people realized, or maybe providing you sort of compensation for. And this card is saying, I need to start getting a little bit more because I'm worth it. Like those hair commercials from the 80s where they would say, and I'm worth it. You're worth it, okay? And you don't have to work so hard. So you don't have to feel pain to learn. You don't have to struggle any longer. It's okay to receive more. And you don't have to carry so much on your shoulders. You can climb a ladder not like the view and find something else that is better for you, but you have to take a break to do it. There's more than one way to get something done. The hardest thing is just going to be to press send, say yes, accept, and sign on the dotted line, because all of this was the hard stuff. When you finally get what you want, and I think you will, it's just going to be hard for you to believe it. So believe it. and then step out of your comfort zone. That's what the Phoenix has been saying thus far, okay? I'm going to clear all of this because we don't need it. We just talked about it. Now we're going to expand this forecast, and it's liberating, and then I don't get stuck in the past because that's one of the things that I've been talking about. We're going to do a different approach, which I've been doing for all of these expanded things. We're going to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll say hi to Apollo right now first because he's amazing. Hey, buddy. Yes, everybody loves you, myself included. All right, for the expanded forecast, I want to choose something different. So let me see what's calling to me. And I'm wondering if I should use maybe an oracle one for this. Maybe. Okay, so we're going to start off with health first. Mind, body, spirit. I'm going to pull an oracle card, and if I want to clarify with tarot, I will, but I might just do oracle for this. A circular deck is cool, but it's hard to read sometimes. Okay, so we basically got the equivalent of a tower, so I'm going to clarify the tower. Or the death card. Okay, we got the other side, death and rebirth. Thank you. All right, so we have apocalyptis, basically like an apocalypse card, which is the end. And so there are 3 different cards that I would ascribe to this. There are multiple ones, but the first one that I saw when I looked at it, because it was kind of a mess, I was like, this is like the aftermath of the tower, but it could also be the death card because it's the closure. Sometimes a closure is messy, and that's why I'm like, yeah, it's the amalgam of those two, because death can be beautiful, transformation, but the tower is the messiest version of a death energy that you can get. Sometimes things just have to fall apart. So it's coming through in health. Don't beat yourself up. Something had to happen and flare up. It could literally just be that, like a rash. It could be, something where maybe it's pain or inflammation, and it was exacerbated and also exaggerated so that you would pay attention to it. So big, so over the top that there was no ignoring it. Literally at the center of this, we have an eye, and there's no way to read this reversed. So the eye is looking out and saying, are you paying attention now? Because this isn't really the end of the world. It's a wake-up call. And that's what Judgment is telling you. Judgment is rebirth in some decks, and it also is literally rebirth. So in the traditional version of the card, we see souls rising up from the dead. They just took a sort of nuanced approach, which I love. This is the Lightseers deck. So it's a new you. So you can take this not so great experience and say, I choose to grow, to elevate, to get into the new me for this, okay? The other thing here is to lean into different types of healing modalities. So I believe in a blending, like I said before, of Eastern and Western. Someone got angry because I was like traditional and whatever. I'm like, just whatever, you know what I'm talking about. Eastern, Western, and basically with this blend of Eastern and Western, you can do things like go to the doctor, but also go to the chiropractor, go to the healer, work with crystals, meditate, because it's mind, body, spirit. That's not a wrong approach. And any good doctor would agree that there is a spiritual component to health. There is a mental and an emotional and a literal physical. And when we combine them together, the healing is stronger. So feel free to combine however it works to accomplish that goal. And I work with pranic healing for myself. I think there's great things to be said about like talking to a therapist, a mentor, a friend, talking it out, journaling it out, working with different modalities like acupuncture, massage therapy, nutritionist. All of them together can help you get a more holistic view of your health. We're not prioritizing or demonizing any of them, whatever works for you. I do think it's worth blending something with, like, even when I was going through some of the stuff where I had the sinus infection, I still had to get major, like the prednisone. Then that gave me some issues and I had to go on blood pressure meds for a while. Like I had to do some stuff to normalize my body, but then I was also practicing spiritual things to help bring it into balance too. And then I had to work with other things because it like all of these things create effects in your body. So it's the whole pie, not just one slice. That's kind of what I'm getting for health. Other things with this, taking it out of this, some things come to pass. Person, place, or thing that you were very much connected to for a while no longer is there, and that kind of rips you out of your comfort zone. The loss of somebody. It can feel like it's the end. It can be a figurative loss like a divorce. It can be a literal loss like a death. And it takes a while to get on the other side. Literally. And it will take time. Took me 3 to 4 years to kind of like fully process the death of my mother. I can't believe it's been that long, but it has. So give yourself time. You will find yourself again, a different version of yourself. It's not the old you. Whatever the loss or transformative energy was, it's coming through to change you for the better. All right, let's move on to wealth. I think I'll just keep working with the circular deck. This is good. All right, so for wealth. I'm going to pull these to the side so they don't distract us. Wealth. The Mountain. Okay, let's give the cards a shuffle and see. Actually, I'm going to use a different deck for this. I'm thinking of that song from Sound of Music where Maria, Julie Andrews, is talking to like the Mother Superior, and she tells her climb every mountain. I love this. Actually, it's beautifully connected to that. So again, wealth, resources, life purpose, and career. It's not just what you're doing for school or work. This is really good for those that are retired or those that just want to pivot. So we have the Mountain here. Came through kind of on the side angle. It doesn't matter. Most of these I'm just going to read upright. But with it on the side, there could be an opportunity coming through from left of center. Like, so you didn't expect it. Make sure that you're open to new things. You've worked really hard to get where you're at. Take a moment to enjoy the view. If you don't like the view, I mentioned that I didn't like it when I climbed the ladder. You can climb a different ladder. You can do something else. Mountain has many peaks and valleys. This is the other thing. If you're in a valley right now, financially, emotionally, energetically, you've got nowhere to go but up. You're not stuck there. They're usually sharp points. So I like a mountain for that because it reminds me of a heartbeat. So when you're in the sharpest point of either thing, you feel it the most. So when it's really high, you feel that. When it's really low, you feel that. And this is beautiful connection between these cards. That's absolutely what the Nine of Cups is. It's not a subtle card. It's extremes. So try not to let the extreme energy of the moment steal your perspective away. This is neither the best or worst day ever. It's just one of the most intense days. And the situation seems better or worse than it normally would because of the amplification. And this is really, it makes a lot of sense because we're doing this on a new moon. So just breathe through it. Your perspective will shift in a couple of days, okay? If you want to start something new, don't underestimate the climb, but don't stop it just because of that. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. Like, just move through the motions, keep taking a step a day. And for those of you that enjoy hiking, you know what I mean. Like, I don't look at how far I'm going to go. When I'm currently not hiking because my knee hurts a little bit, but imagine like you're hiking. You go up the hill, you just keep paying attention to what's around you, take some breaks, and at some point you look back and you're like, wow, look at how far I came. Okay, and I don't have much further to go. But if you were looking the whole time at how steep the climb was, you wouldn't do it. So just keep taking a step a day and you'll eventually get to one of these peaks. The Hermit energy is coming through on this too because that guy's in the cave. So really drink in the moment. Don't overwhelm yourself with how far you need to go. Instead, look at how far you've come and celebrate that. And don't let the peaks or valleys get in the way of the bigger adventure. This is a dream fulfillment card. I just talked about how that ninth cup is within you. You can accomplish whatever it is that you're setting out to do in your wealth, whether you're resuscitating your money, like coming back from a challenging period, whether you want to try to graduate or get a job or do something cool in your life, it's all within reach. Yes, there's a little work to do, but isn't it worth it? I think it's worth it. Don't be afraid to reach for the goal, okay? You may also need to move. The mountain isn't as big of a block as it seems. In this particular mountain, there might be a way through it as well. Okay, now let's take a look at love and relationships. Sorry, there'll be some outdoor noise sometimes because I'm in a hotel. All right, let's leave that one to the side. So love and relationships. Get out of town. We have two. Okay, wow. This is like true love, and we have the vow. I like that. Hold on a second. All right, that's the card. Wow. Okay. We got every type of love you can get for the most part. And I'm pretty sure Kairos, or Kairos means like true love. It's a Greek word. I'm going to look it up so we can talk about it in particular, because it's important to get the dictionary version of that. So, yeah, so it means, well, no, opportune critical moment. Got it. Chronos is clock and time. Kairos is qualitative. So it's timing. Okay. So, now I get it. I'm glad I looked that up because I'm like, this word is not in my everyday vocabulary. So you can't force the timing. So here we have the vow and ostensibly like true love, higher love, something that's worth it, a contract that means something to you. This is about cosmic perfect timing that you can't change. And here we have something that is forced, that is conditional, that isn't fully accepting, or it's kind of the antithesis of this. So don't sign on the dotted line until you feel ready. And we're looking at love. So it doesn't matter what kind of contract, what type of person, what type of energy, if they're pushing you to do something before you're ready, it's not the right person, it's not the right time. This could be forcing you to get married, have a kid, move, do or say something that doesn't feel right. This could be keeping a secret that you shouldn't keep. This could be trying to accept something that you just can't accept, including a lack of honesty, integrity, or fidelity. So there's something about this situation where the universe is saying, if and when the time is right, it will perfectly align. These are elevated cards. The vow, the promise, the signature, the diamond, and then we have this cosmic timing here. If it isn't, then it's this. If the person, place, thing, whatever it is in front of you forces your hand, no. And I mentioned the ace, and it very much was signature, send, commit. If you don't want to do it, absolutely don't do it. That's why I was looking at that from a different perspective. It makes sense now. This is more in relationships, but it can also be your commitment to something. Okay? Also, prenuptials are very much a way to get rid of this, so that you know that you're taken care of. There's nothing wrong with that. Revising a contract that is not fair. So for those of you that are an artist, it doesn't matter, an artisan of any sort, but like we're seeing a new approach towards like respecting intellectual property, particularly when it comes to like writers or composers or anybody, or illustrators, anybody that's creating something that's going to be used multiple times. You need to make sure you get your licensing end of the deal, okay? So something in the contract isn't right, and maybe something about the way that someone's pushing something doesn't feel right. When it's right, it's right, and you don't need to pull any cards. When it's not, you also don't need to pull any cards. It should be black and white obvious. Okay, and if it's not, pause. Use your Eight of Cups energy that we've talked about multiple times. I don't know who wrote the song, but I know who made it famous. I'm not sure if Bonnie Raitt wrote it completely, but I can't make you love me if you don't. So you can't make someone feel something. I think that's the next line. I can't make your heart feel something that it won't. It's a beautiful song, by the way, and her rendition of it is like just, it kind of can reduce you to emotions, but what you feel is what you feel, and that's enough. So just trust your heart. Okay. That was a good message. I mean, it was an important message, maybe not the great message that you were looking for, but if you don't feel it, don't do it. Now let's look at Destiny. What's this Phoenix all about right now? What's it trying to show you? I'm gonna look this up too. I love this deck, but gosh, with these words. Alethea. I think I knew someone called Alethea, but okay. Alethea. So let's take a quick look at the meaning of this card, because it is a name, by the way. So it means truth or sincerity. And there's a lot of like these Greek names and Greek words are interesting. So it's all about integrity, truth, and honesty. Being honest with yourself. That's the hardest thing sometimes. And we see the light and shadow ends of this, because the truth has two sides. Your side, my side, her side, his side. It's somewhere in the middle, probably. But looking at something from all angles is going to be really important. And just being really honest with yourself. Sometimes we don't want to see the truth even when it's right in front of us. Thank you to the people that said that. I studied, I know French and Spanish, so some Latin words will come through, but that's a Greek word. That's probably why it didn't. I'm better with Latin-based words than with Greek. But I love to look stuff up, and I love etymology too, so no shame in looking things up and learning more. This is a cool deck, but there's like 4 cards that will have weird, I need to just commit them to memory, but I don't think in everyday speech I'm ever saying, you know, Alethea. Okay. But I did know a girl named Alethea. Okay, Eight of Swords. The truth is in front of you, but it's hard to see. The truth is within you, but it's hard to accept. The truth is out there. Now I sound like Mulder. But sometimes it's difficult to embrace it. Literally, one of his posters is, I want to believe. I want to believe the truth, but it's hard sometimes to believe it, right? Okay. One thing that I like about the Eight of Swords is that the bird isn't actually trapped. There's no top to the cage. There's no door to the cage. It just needs to look around a little bit. And then the truth will be blatantly, ridiculously obvious. All right? Okay. Don't stop believing. Now let's go into the bonus portion. We'll still do a final card in a moment. And maybe before I do that, I mean, I feel like the Destiny card kind of gave it to us, but I want to do like maybe one more for the Phoenix. Phoenix, do you have any final messages for the collective? And then we're going to look at the bonus. What's the final message about alchemy? So many Hierophants today. Well, maybe it's just the second time. It feels like a lot of Hierophants. Hierophants and Hermits have been showing up. All right. This Hierophant's interesting. So we have a little girl, and we have this owl, and it's reading a story. And when I think about like what the Hierophant can represent, it's passed down knowledge. So in the traditional illustration, we see the Pope retelling stories from what? Couple millennia ago. Stories or documents, whatever you want to call it. But like, they were secondhand accounts. It was people that wrote stuff, and then it becomes an oral tradition. You're telling stuff, and then we wrote it down. But you can also create your own story in your own life, because we're abstracting this. So the stories, the narratives, and the visions that were part of our parents' and grandparents' lives are very much rooted in the previous century. and we have to imagine something different. One song that I've been playing, actually an album that I've been playing more recently, is Tracy Chapman's album called New Beginning, and that title track, we have to start all over, make a new beginning, invent new language, invent new symbols, redefine the way that we're thinking about each other. Like, I'm just picking highlights and I'm paraphrasing, but she says all of that. Particularly like the language and symbols. Okay, I'll look up the lyrics while we're talking. But okay, New Beginning, Tracy Chapman. It's a great album, actually. A lot of stuff like about healing the planet, and she was ahead of her time on some of this stuff. Okay, but I'm going to find this while we're talking here. Try to find a decent lyrical site here. Okay, so the whole world's broke. It ain't worth fixing. It's time to start all over and make a new beginning. There's too much pain, too much suffering. Let's resolve to start all over and make a new beginning. And then she gets into the different ways that we can do it, because it's not about, okay, we need to make new symbols, make new signs, make a new language. With this, we'll redefine the world. Because the old languages, the old symbols, the old traditions don't work. It's an old operating system in a new computer. If you try to run, like for instance, if you try to put Mac OS 9 on a modern Mac, it won't even accept it. Or Windows 3.1 on a brand new computer that doesn't have the same chip architecture, it won't work. Nor would you want to, because we've outgrown the old architecture. So one of the things that you can do is to think of it in new ways, using a different perspective, different optics, different words. We talked about a few. We now know what aletheia means and kairos means. It's like expanding your vocabulary just like that, but your visual vocabulary, your emotional vocabulary. Because what used to work doesn't. Didn't I just say that in a daily? I did, I know. Sometimes I feel like a record repeating, but it's worth repeating because not everyone watches every video or every sign. So that is also part of this. Okay. Yeah, Tracy's amazing. That album's amazing. Actually, of course, her Fast Car, the album that Fast Car came from is amazing, but Telling Stories is also good. I love, like, she had like a trifecta of albums in a row that were just chef's kiss. Okay. Now let's go to the bonus portion. I'm 99% sure we made it, but let me just double check here. Even if we didn't, I would probably give it to you guys anyway. So yeah, we did. Thank you everybody for helping us make the bonus. Thank you, by the way, for that person that gave a really high amount there, the 1111s there. Luzianne, thank you so much. All right, now we're gonna go into a bonus section, and this is whatever needs to come through. I like this because I don't have to worry too much about what I'm channeling. It's just going to be what needs to happen. I do need a throat lozenge, so let me grab that and then we'll look at this. Sometimes I talk too much, too fast, too often, and that's what's been happening today. If you just joined, this will be available on replay right afterwards. Good to have you. Also, if you just joined, check out the new moon reading that I posted. It's on the main channel page, highlighted. And as I said earlier, I'm going to, hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, have all the monthly readings done. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 a day. And then we'll get into the July ones and get back on track. Okay. What does everyone, okay, I want to look at what you're missing. What's beneath the surface that you're ignoring, that your guides want you to see? Okay. Why are we getting the Tower? Okay. Wow. It's surfacing things. Okay, so first of all, this is one of my favorite illustrations of the Tower. It can be interpreted a couple of ways. First of all, you could be the agent of change, and particularly when the card is reversed like this, that's how I like to read it. So with towers, you get warning signs, you feel it, you see it, you hear it, and if you pay attention to any one of those in advance, you can avoid it altogether. And you can be an agent of change and say, I'd like this, this, and this to happen. And you can surf that wave of change to a nice firm, steady landing. And that's really what I hope many of you are willing to do. When you find, the hardest part is making a decision. That really does come through in this reading. So I'm just tuning in right now. So we talked about what you're looking for in your decision-making process is integrity in the other person. It should feel right on a heart level. The contract needs to be even and fair. And you owe it to yourself to explore all of the options in front of you. Once you've done that, there should be no hesitation. Like, you may always have a little doubt, should I do it? But if you've done that, it's like pulling 4 cards and they're all positive. It's like, okay, let's do it. But you're going to have to make some changes. Some of you might be letting go of a relationship. Some of you might be quitting a job. Some of you might be leaving the country. Some of you might be moving your money to a new bank account. Whatever it is, like, you're doing something big. It's a big shift. It's not little. Investment shift, a time shift, an energy shift. But you've thought it out. It's still a tower. It's still significant. But it can be good. Proposing to the one that you love. Buying a new house. Selling an old house. Quitting a job. Retiring. Having a baby. Those are towers. But they're good towers. We don't live life without towers. If you do, it's boring and you're not growing. So you're going to have minimum 2 towers in your life. When you're born and when you die. But if you're lucky, you're going to have a ton of interesting towers. Let's redefine, thank you, Tracy Chapman. Let's redefine what a tower can be. A reverse tower can be an exciting, chaotic, and, it's kind of like I'm seeing you blush and like all this energy moving through your body. It can be a good change, but you have to pay attention to it. All right, flip side. There's something that's coming up and you need to change it and you don't like it. So deal with that as well. If something hurts, if something is irritating, if something is distracting, pay attention to it, lean into it, and figure out how to fix it. The reason that it's coming through, your subconscious wants you to pay attention to something. The emotions can't be pushed beneath the surface. And you have to continue to move through it. What is crying but lubrication of your eyes, right? So the fluidity, that's literally the word that they brought through. Like, crying and feeling is lubrication. It helps you get from point A to point B without so much friction. Cry if you need to. And that's why this card and the tower was reversed. Okay. What's a blessing to this? Like, what's a silver lining to what I just talked about? Because I know that can be heavy. Let's get a different oracle. I feel like we could use the archangels right now. Okay, so what did I say? What's the silver lining? The Ten of Wands in reverse, but this one, instead of a bunch of random logs that she's carrying, we see all of these beautiful flowers. So, when it rains, it pours, both in the positive and the negative. And it feels like the silver lining is, for all the struggle, for all the difficulty, for all the work, you're just about to get to that point where it's going to really, really shine and really be amazing. But it can also be overwhelming when that happens, because you think to yourself, oh my gosh, it's almost too much. You're going to be fine. Give yourself time and space to just drink it in. And I really would love for you to do more of that on a daily basis. Even though this is 10 of Wands, take time to smell the flowers. Take time to be present, to look around, to drink it in. You don't have to do this all on your own. And the minute that you release a little bit of that sense of obligation or control, the easier your life gets. So we have Orion coming through, manifestation vortex. Focus your energy with unwavering faith to manifest the outcome that you require. That's why you can't do all of this. Because if you're carrying the weight of the world on your back, you won't be able to manifest. You don't have enough time and energy left to do it. But if you just pace yourself, take a step back, and take your time, you will. You can manifest both a blessing and a block. It's much more powerful to manifest something good, or something positive, rather than the challenge, rather than the negative. Think to yourself, I'm really ready to work less, receive more, enjoy more, be more present, have more left at the end of the day, a different kind of abundance. Okay? So step back into your power as a manifestor, and that really is nicely aligned to the overarching topic for today. I'm trying to think what else we can talk about here. For those of you that feel like something is broken, what I want to ask is, do you need to fix it? It's a good question. Let's see, which deck do I want to use for this? No. No, and we have some messages coming in. Okay, so if something has broken down, is broken, I ask because of the tower. We have the pole star or the star coming through. It is dissipating, disappearing, dissolving so that you can pay attention to that, your calling, your purpose. Planetary, not just like we have short-term and long-term goals, and then we actually have these deep soul yearnings. So when everything quiets down, what is it that you still want to do? Think about it. You don't need to answer this today. It's kind of like your homework for the week ahead, and homework in a playful way. What do I dream about? What do I aspire? What makes me excited? What's on my to-do list? What do I also feel like imagining that you knew your exit point, which none of us do and none of us really need to. But knowing, okay, I have this amount of time. Did I do everything I wanted to do? Imagine tomorrow's the last day. What would you think today? Oh, God, I should have done this. Put it on the list. That's now going to be part of your bucket list of things that you're going to do. It's part of your planetary goal. You don't need someone to read it for you. You know it in your heart. Do I have a regret? Should I have said something to someone? Should I have hopped on the plane? Should I have taken a risk and started this or stopped that? Listen to that. This is spiritual development. This is teaching. This is really kind of being seen. It's one of the most auspicious cards. 2 angelic messages came through, and I think we're good at this. Like I want to, we'll see if anything else comes through, but there was a lot on this one. But the first one is from Seraphiel, Heart of Devotion. Let the cup of your heart be filled through commitment and dedication. Just do what you love. When you love what you do and do what you love, then you bring in abundance. It's simple, yet profound. Gabriel. It's time to be seen. I just said that. Don't be afraid of your power and gifts, divine emergence. This one is directly connected to this. So Gabriel is saying, step forward, be yourself, be bold. And because you love what you're doing and because love is infusing all of that, you will shine brightly. And part of your gift to the planet is your devotion, is your love, is your ability to step into that. Okay. I'm just looking at chat to see if any of you are having some challenges. And then last one, and then I want to go into the final card. For the last message for today, let me just look at what our options were, and I want to see if I can bubble something up that should have made it. Or that was a runner-up. I feel like we were pretty good. Oh, I like this one. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that the expansion one didn't get it. So we could look at expansion and launching. Okay, so let's look at that, because I feel like we've talked a little bit about healing. So for the goal that you might have in front of you, what can you do to accomplish that goal? Okay, and let's get a clarifying card with that. So how can you make it happen? By connecting with others. We also get a time marker. Could be December, based on the way that this card looks, because it looks like something that you would see in December with the tree and the lights and the celebration. I actually saw something like this in dreams. It kind of appeared like a wedding or a familial gathering or celebration. So first of all, whatever you're trying to do, Spirit's already confirming that the celebration will ensue. The other thing that we're seeing here is that it's going to be elevated by teamwork, and you're one of many. You're the one that's going to bring it all together, but you're going to also work with others to make this happen. Friends, peers, family, you might be hiring people, you might be one of a larger group, maybe it's one of 10, but it's not you alone. You're gonna need to plug in a little bit. Also, part of this is going against what's expected. So 10 of Cups in reverse, peer, familial pressure that you're not going to adhere to. And you've got this. This is also why you came here. This is one of the things. This is the one thing that you were really supposed to do, but you're the one that's going to make it happen, but you're going to do it with others. Because the 10 of Cups it's a bigger card. So see yourself as part of a greater whole, and see yourself as connecting with other people, like making this constellation. It's kind of how it's coming together in my mind's eye. Okay. Thank you for voting for that and helping me get to that goal. I appreciate it. We're going to take a couple moments now to meditate, and then we'll pull a final card. For meditation, I very much am going into that constellation type energy. So imagine that you are laying down on a blanket. It's a warm summer night. You can hear the crickets, the tree frogs, the cicadas, whatever it is wherever you live. You can hear those sounds of evening. And then as you take a deep breath, you can smell wonderful wildflowers. Even if you have allergies in Spirit, it doesn't matter. You won't smell it. You won't sneeze. So imagine that it's either like honeysuckle or jasmine or something native to where you live. And then as you look up at the starry sky above, you just pay attention to, it's almost like a relaxing energy as the stars are twinkling and the planets are twinkling. In the familiar constellations, imagine that there's a new constellation forming, and this one can be a symbol or a totem for whatever it is that you're trying to create. See something start to take shape or take form, and know that this is a symbol that you are ready and you are aligned. Whenever you feel lost this week, meditate and imagine that that constellation helps point you in the right direction. Place your hands on your heart, take a few deep breaths, and think to yourself something positive. Something that you want to create. I can, I will, I am capable of doing this. I am creating this. This is happening. I am ready, willing, and capable of making it happen. As you close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, you can see the imprint of that constellation on the retina of your eyes. It's going to be with you this week. On the next natural exhale, you can open your eyes. And let's look at one final question, one final card. You got two. They're both positive. You've got this. It's already destined to be. But just like we were talking about with the Three of Cups, this week, the energy is very much blessed, amplified, and elevated when you work with others. This is a playful card. So the Three of Cups can be a party. It's also about working not like with a lack of seriousness, but more playfully with somebody. And when approaching a task or responsibility, finding a way to make it not feel like work. This can be very, very positive and beneficial in making it happen. And it's already done, it's already written. Going back into the Tracy Chapman lyrics about redefinition or redefining, success is subjective, meaning that each of us gets to decide what that means. Is it health, free time, education, making a difference in the world, healing something that's wrong, creating a safe space for people in this planet. Whatever your calling is, you get to define what that is and how that aligns to your success and what you consider to be successful. Nobody else needs to agree, and nobody else can define it except for you. But I wouldn't be surprised if you're onto something great and people eventually do agree with it and support it, okay? So if you asked a yes or no, yes, and it's not a yes but, it's a yes and. Yes, and working in a team can help. Yes, and having fun can help this happen. Yes, and if you just have fun with this and don't define it too much, it might be easier to accomplish. Yes, and. That's a nice way to end this. I'd like to take a couple of moments here just to say thanks. Thanks to everybody that took some time from their schedule. You've got a lot of places that you can spend time here on YouTube, so thank you for hanging out with me. Let's go ahead and give a shout out to some of you that decided to contribute a little bit with stickers. You don't have to, by the way, but it really does help. So I'm going to take a couple moments here to give some shout outs. So here we go. All right. Welcome back, I should say, Ann Walk. Thank you so much for being a member for 31 months. That's amazing. You've been participating even longer, but it's great to have you here, and I appreciate that long-term commitment. Thank you. OWO, Hierophant, thank you and welcome back. I can see you just rejoined as a member. Thank you, Eslyn, for being a member and also for gifting 5 new memberships. Welcome to everybody that just joined. Jamie, good to see you as always. Thank you for being a member and for giving back today. And happy new moon to you, right back at you. Okay, celebrating an anniversary, and actually, no, not celebrating, but just gifting memberships. Thank you, OWO. Hierophant, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships. And again, for being a member and rejoining today. Gigi, thank you so much for your sticker. And Walk, thank you again. Sam Murphy, good to see you each and every week. Thank you for 13 months, a year and a month of membership. Much appreciated. PJ Good, good to see you every weekend. Thank you for the sticker and the membership. Sam Murphy, thank you again. Much appreciated. Indigo W3Y, thank you so much for the good luck on the journey. I appreciate it. PJ Good, thank you again. And Walk, thank you again. Christiane Lisa, thanks for the membership and for the sticker. Lauren, thank you so much for your sticker. Brenna, thank you for the sticker. Thanks for the good luck wishes. Much appreciated. Phoebe, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for being a longtime member and for gifting a membership. Eslyn, thanks for the rainbow there and for being a member for a long time. I can see all the trines on that. Sam Murphy, thank you again for the little phoenix icon there. And again, for being a member and a sticker. PJ, thanks for giving multiple stickers today and for the memberships. Much appreciated. Malibu Plant Girl, good name. Thank you so much for your sticker. And I'm glad that you felt that I helped you through some stuff. And you're not alone at all. This is a great community. There's a lot of love for tarot here. Kate, I'm just going to leave it at Kate. Thank you so much for the well wishes on the move and for the sticker. PJ, thank you again. I called you out in real time, but thank you so much. Louise or Louisiane, I think it is. I appreciate the lucky triple ones. That was a really nice gift. Much appreciated. PJ, thank you again. Solcatify, I think it is. Welcome, you're a brand new member. I can see the hand. Thanks for the 1111. PJ, thank you again for stickers, membership, multiple contributions today. Yolanda, thank you very much for your sticker. Rafaela, thank you for being a longtime member and for the sticker. PJ, thank you again, and thank you again. Shelly, good to see you. Thank you for the sticker and membership. Alice, thank you so much for your sticker and membership. I'm grateful too. Right back at you. PJ, good, thank you. Eslyn, thank you again. Love the rainbow. PJ, thank you twice in a row there. Appreciate it. Gigi, thank you for saying hello to Apollo. He's on the other side right now, over hanging out by the bed. Let's see. Georgia, thank you so much for your sticker and for being a longtime member. PJ, thank you for the multiple contributions today. Sulka, thank you as well for the multiple contributions today. Jacqueline, thank you for your sticker. Lizzie, thanks for the sticker and membership. Georgia, thank you again for the multiple contributions. Handan Gul, Taksumika, appreciate the sticker. Mel 305, thank you for your sticker. Hanangul, thank you again. Much appreciated. PJ Good, 16 months of membership. Get out of town. I'm happy that this helps you heal. That's the goal. That's one of my planetary goals. Kathy, thank you. Good to see you, my friend. Long-time member with that crown, with all the trines and that cute little gem in the center. Thanks for being here for a long time. I appreciate you. XX Genie, thank you so much for your sticker and also for being a very long-time member. I can see it with that crown. MP Leisman, thank you very much for the sticker and membership. Mary Jones, thank you so much for your sticker and membership. And 2 in a row, much appreciated. Thank you, Squish, for gifting a membership. Casey and Bloom, good to see you. Thanks for the sticker and membership. And Donna Fitzgerald, thank you for the sticker and for doing a first super on a live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. All right. That was a mouthful. That was a lot. Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. Dakota, thank you. Thanks to everybody that let me know I had to fix my mic. It's all fixed. I love the teamwork. I love the community here, and love and appreciate all of you. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you many times this week as I'm pushing out a lot of content. So hopefully you appreciate it and the patience was worth it. Until I see you next time, be well. Bye-bye, everyone.